Everybody, I think that's King James only curse. I don't know. Hi, everybody. This is Angelo Quinones, and you reach I Am Ministries. I Am Ministries is designed to give you dependable and accurate answers that come straight from God's holy and inspired word, the Bible. The Bible. Habiblos, by the way, post by Yasas, Yasu. I mean, all of those are greetings in Greek, just like Manishma and all that other stuff that I forgot in Hebrew. I had a wonderful, I still have it with me in the Philippines, CD collection of how to speak modern Greek and modern Hebrew. And so that's just the deal. I think it's like something I forgot. It's nice. It's so nice. I forgot it. Anyway, guys, let's just pray for this wonderful study that's coming up. We're going to look at the Greek recorded in 1 John chapter 5 verse 20, and we're going to see once and forever who is the true God recorded here. Is it the Father, who is the true God, by the way? Is it the Son, who is the true God, by the way? Is it the Holy Spirit, who's not mentioned here, but who is the true God, by the way, anyway? They all are the true God. All of them are the true God. That's just the deal. And we're going to look at something, I believe it's recorded in Jeremiah, that calls the Lord the true God. So, I mean, all of them are called Lord, and all of them are called God, and all of them are called the true God. So it's I would tell you lose if you're a JW in front of me. Well, Father, we come to you praising your holy name, because it is great and you are great. We just look for great things in the study, but before we get to that, we just want to confess our sins to you, that you wash these sins, please, Lord, away before we make a Bible study like this about your nature, about your character, about you being the true God and Jesus Christ whom thou hast sent. So we just come to you again, praising you, glorifying you, magnifying you, and we exhort one another as it is yet day. And so we just come thanking you for all things that we received today, both spiritual and physical, both easy and hard. And so the pain that we had today, we praise you, and then we just magnify your holy name that is able to lift us out of the pit, out of the mire, like you did Jeremiah. So we just come to the great God of Israel, and we just come to you in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, guys, this is the coup de grace. This is the key. Why am I stuttering so much? I mean, is it because the fan is right over me? I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, you know? This is the deal. Now, let's go to, verse 20 here, and let's read this. We're going to look at the full Greek, but before we do that, we're going to look at this, but then we're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 10, and we're going to see, about the true God. Who's the true God there recorded? Hi, my love, Anna Devane is with me, my child. And we know, says the Apostle John, that the Son of God has come and has given us understanding, so that we may know, that's the subjunctive there, him who is true. And we are in him who is true, in his Son, Jesus Christ. This is the true God and eternal life. This is the true God and eternal life. I mean, this is the true God, the only God. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? And eternal life according to the rest of the scriptures. There is only one God. That God is the God of Israel. Israel. Now, they don't say the R like that. I'm just copying the Greeks and putting that in, infusing that into the Hebrew. Okay? The God of Israel. Recorded. He is the true God. Now, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 10. Hi, my love. I just trying to placate my daughter, Let's just read this one more time before we go to Jeremiah. This is quite clear. And we know, as Christians, as born-again Christian people, We who have been given the elucidating or the illumination, we have been given the illumination, okay, of the Holy Spirit. We were chosen before the foundation of the world, and we were chosen to know. We were given understanding by the revelation of Jesus, who came to exegete the Father. Verse 18 of chapter 1 of John. No one has perceived God at any time. The only one, the unique one. Okay, the only God, the one and only, says one NIV. The one that's in the chest of the Father. He has exegeted him, meaning the Father. And we saw the rule of Evagenos there, that it works perfectly. Okay, because the thing is, if the rule of Evagenos is not applied, then the Father is exegeting or explaining or proclaiming or whatever the case may be, the Father. And we can't have that. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So the rule of Evagenos is working perfectly there in that scenario. Now, before I get into anything else, okay, what is hutos and what is ekenos? Okay, I'm not gonna say hutos or ekenos because hutos sounds like an adverb. I mean, be careful with that modern Greek, pushing it into biblical Greek. All right, so hutos means this, okay, and hutoi, or obviously in the plural, means these. So hutos is the Greek way of saying this or these. Okay, hutos, hutoi, this, these. Okay, so demonstrative pronoun. It's a pronoun. Pronoun, okay, that's the deal, means in place of a noun. That's what it means. Okay, it's from the Latin. It means in place of a noun. That's what I'm saying. Now, ekenos is also a demonstrative pronoun, but it means, okay, that, ekenos, or those, ekenoi. Is that clear? So we say this or that. That's kind of easy, this or that. This one went to the market, that one stayed home. You understand what I'm saying? But in Greek, you say for this, okay, among other ways of saying it. Okay, there are weak demonstratives, articles, if you will, that can do the same thing. Basically, it's called a weak demonstrative because of its size and because of other things. You understand what I'm saying? Because of its limitation, even though they're very flexible, the articles. In Greek, you say this, hutas, or that, ekenos. Now, ekenos is not here. Now, the rule of hutas is this, that it takes the nearest antecedent. Okay, so we know what a pronoun is. Okay, pronoun, ego mu moi me, susu soy se, autas, autu, auto, autan. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, okay, I, you, he, she, or it. Those are pronouns. Okay? So there. Incidentally, I counted like 46 or 47 pronouns or proper names or whatever the case may be, special titles or whatever, that has to do with the Trinity found and recorded in Genesis chapter 19. I'm studying that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that's before the fiasco of Lot and his daughters. You understand what I'm saying? By no fault of Lot. And basically, they were sincere, but they were sincerely wrong, meaning the daughters. But I'm not talking about that fiasco after, the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah. But getting back to this, there are rules in Greek. Okay, I mean, there are rules. I mean, there are Newtonian physics. I mean, if you jump off the Empire State Building, you're not going up, you're going down. That's the rule of physics, of gravity. You understand what I'm saying? Even on the moon, if you jump up, you're coming down. That was recorded, okay, in 1969 when two people were walking on the moon, Neil Armstrong and the other one, I think his name was Buzz, right? I forgot the last name, but there were two people on the moon, and they were jumping up, but they came down. Now they came down because they had, weights on their shoes and big fat, oxygen supply tanks or whatever you want, backpacks or whatever you want to call them. Their spacesuits were very heavy as well, so maybe that's why they went down. They would have went up if they didn't have that stuff. Okay, fine. But usually when you go up, okay, when you jump up, you're going down. Jump off the Empire State Building. I was on top of the Empire State Building, by the way, looking down. It was ridiculous. Incidentally, in the Geography of Salvation by Dr. Barnhouse, that movie, the motion picture that Barnhouse did in the 1950s, I believe, there was like a bird's eye view of people. You couldn't tell them apart, meaning a 4-foot guy or a 6'5" guy or whatever the case may be. They were both the same. That was like God's view, if you will. You know what I mean? Now, only when you go to their level, okay, as man, can you see the difference of a 4-foot guy and a 6-foot guy or whatever it is. Okay, but in God's view, he says he sees the heart. Everybody's the same. He doesn't see, a guy's stature over a guy like Zacchaeus that needed to go on a tree to see the Son of Man. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the deal. So there are rules, and the rule of hutas is that it takes the remotest antecedent. The rule of kainos is it takes the nearest antecedent. Scratch that. The rule of hutas is that it takes the nearest antecedent. The rule of hutas is that it takes the remotest antecedent. Okay? The remotest antecedent. I mean, something is remote. It's like I hate to say far because it's not like that in Greek, like far something, a stone's throw like that. But I'll just put it anyway so you can understand it. Something near, something far. The rule of hutas is that it takes the nearest antecedent, and the rule of kainos is it takes the farthest antecedent, if you will. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? So what's the answer? We have the pronoun. We have hutas and kainos, and the hutas is here in 1 John chapter 5 verse 20. This is the true God. Now the problem is to figure out who is the true God, whether it's the Father, who is that anyway, whether it's the Son, who is that anyway. So I mean, they're both. Listen, the conclusion of our study is not going to minimize any one of the members of the Trinity. If Jesus is recorded as being the true God here, so what? So what? If the Father is the true God, so what? Okay? Now, we have to come with the right conclusion, because if God gave us the Bible, He gave us the Bible for a reason. He already recorded through the Holy Spirit and through the secondary author of, John, okay, that the Father was the true God in John 17:3. So that's said. The Father is the true God. But there's a verse of Scripture that we forget, okay, that the Son is called the true God. He's called the true God. So if they are called the true God, well, they are the true God. It's not only that the Father's the true God. Can't you get it through your fat heads at the tower? I don't know what they're smoking at the tower. I don't know if the cigarettes that they were making in Boris or Morris, or I don't know, tobacco company, commercialed by Lucy Ball and Dizzy Dean. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Desi Arnaz. Dizzy Dean was the picture, right? Huh? Yeah, they're so delicious, these cigarettes. But the only caveat, it gives you cancer. They didn't tell you that in the 1950s, though. They didn't tell you in the 1950s when you were reading the translation, go into the witnesses side of things. You understand what I'm saying? That you were going to get spiritual cancer. Just like those cigarette commercials, I mean, it's just, and they didn't tell you in the old days. They didn't probably even know that they were going to give you cancer. That's the deal. Be good, girl, my love. Be good, girl, my love. I love you. You understand what I'm saying? I love Lucy, and Lucy Ball and Desi Arnaz. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't tell you in the commercial, oh yeah, you know, it's tasty, but you're gonna die. They didn't tell you that. They tell you that in the packages, you know, it took like 50 years to get that into packages. You understand what I'm saying? In the back of the box. And then you increase the price and still people are paying for them. I guess they want to die. So maybe, I don't know, they're smoking too much cigarettes or Winston's or whatever the case may be. I don't know. What is my father's cigarettes were they cool or something like that? I don't know. I don't know any brands. I'm not a smoker, you understand what I'm saying? So I don't know what they're smoking. Cigars? Cigarettes? Cigarettes? Oh, my boxer. It's just a deal from Abbott and Costello. I'm just saying. They don't tell you that you're going to get spiritual cancer if you believe in the doctrine of the witnesses. Say not Trinity. Ooh, that's Muslim theology, but, you know, it's close to the Dawa. Let's get back to this, though. So there are rules. So, listen, hutas and ekenos, they are pronouns. And pronouns means in place of a noun. And Julius Armanti and Dana, so long ago in their wonderful manual grammar of the Greek New Testament, said that pronouns were made or invented, if you will, to break up the monotony of repeating the same thing again and again and again and again and again, if you will. So instead of saying, you know, Angelo went to the store and Angelo went back home, and after he went back home, he took a bath or a shower, and then Angelo put on his clothes, and then Angelo went to church, and Angelo went back home, and then Angelo went to sleep. That's too many Angelos. I mean, you know. I'm glad the newspapers, you know, put my name into things. I mean, you know, even though they called me a burly forward, you know, and the basketball team in my high school, and then the newspapers in my basketball team, they call me a burly forward. That's a nice way of saying fat. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's nice as Angelo's repeated, but it gets a little repetitive, you know. So somebody invented the pronoun. Instead of saying Angelo, you say his or him or he or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? He, him, I don't know. He or him. What's the paradigm in English? Okay, so we know what a pronoun is. It means in place of a noun. That's what it means in Latin, in place of a noun. Okay, so that's easy. But okay, that's just half of the stuff. So you have hutas. Let me get hutas over here so you guys can see it. Be good girl, my love. Be good girl, my love. Daddy's I was gonna say Angelo studying the Bible in third person. That was just a deal. There's a golden rule to go all the way to the end so you can find stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's just the deal. That's Christ over there. Okay, he, and that's hutas over there. Okay, don't say hutos. Please don't say hutos. And please don't say theon. You know, it's just confusing. You know, don't push modern pronunciation into biblical Greek. I mean, somebody has done that already, and this guy has 100,000 views or whatever. I mean, everybody likes, people to teach like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. And then we guys who are struggling to get one view, and the one view is me. My wife said, and the one view is you, right? Yeah. You know, you're dirty. Out of the mouths of wives, you know what I'm saying? God has not perfected praise sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It says over here, he, and right below, that's a pronoun in English, and right below is another pronoun, which means, okay, he or this, okay, hutas. Hutas is spelled out Omicron, Upsilon, Tau, Omicron, Final, Sigma, Omicron, nowadays Omicron, but I'm not pushing that into this. With the rough reading, since it's a diphthong, I guess it's a proper diphthong, right? Okay, rough reading and a circumflex over the upsilon. Okay, so just say hutas. Hutas, actually, because of the acute marker. Hutas means this or he. Okay? Sometimes it's translated, okay, the same. Sometimes it's a proper name. It comes in verse 2, hutas, after logos. Now, I already gave you that rule that it takes the nearest antecedent. And what is the nearest antecedent in John 1:1c? It's not theon found and recorded in John 1:1b. It's logos found and recorded in John 1:1c. So that's the nearest antecedent. Okay, so what's the antecedent? We know what a pronoun is. Something that takes the place of a noun. Okay, fine. So what is an antecedent? And then we already know the rules of hutas and ekenos. Now we know that ekenos is not here. So the rule is not a straitjacketed rule, but the rule, when there's some confusion, you have to go by the rules anyway, but you really have to go by the rules when there's some confusion or something that's not clear, because the rule can help in a situation like that. Now, if it's obvious, you don't know the rule, you don't have to use the rule. The rule is already working, and it's so clear. You're not really thinking about the rule. You're just like, you're getting up and walking. You're not really thinking of walking, even though you are thinking of walking, but you're not saying, oh, I'm just, or whatever the case may be. If you're using a wheelchair, I was there also. I was in a wheelchair. You get so used to it, you're not really thinking about the wheelchair. You're just thinking about going to the bathroom. That's what you're thinking about, or going to the kitchen and doing something, cooking or whatever the case may be, or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Or you're thinking like, how long do I have to be in this wheelchair and stuff like that? When I had my Achilles heel surgery, so I was in a wheelchair for several months, so I know what it is to be in a wheelchair. Okay, I'm glad that God, let me go through some stuff. Yes, my love. Be good girl, my love. Daddy's studying the Bible. So we know the rule of, we know what hutas means. You should know by now. It means this. It means in its masculine form, it means he, or it means the same. Don't say autos, that's something else. Autos is a third person personal pronoun, and that's third person. This is hutas. This is not that. This is a demonstrative pronoun. And we saw the demonstrative pronouns, hutas and ekenos. Hutas means this, ekenos means that. Or hutoi means these, and ekenoi means those. Okay, so it means these, hutas, and ekenos means that or those. Hutas is not here. The word for that is not here, meaning, right after, Christ. Okay, so you have, demonstrative pronouns consist of hutas and ekenos. Ekenos is not here. Hutas is in 1 John chapter 5 verse 20. Is that clear? That the word this is here. So hutas has a rule. Okay, what can it take? What it usually takes, if you will. It takes the nearest antecedent. Now we have to find out what the nearest antecedent is after knowing what a pronoun is, a demonstrative pronoun, and after knowing one of its rules. Okay. The nearest antecedent that is the ancestor of the pronoun. Okay, that which the pronoun is referring to, back to. What is linked to? What is associated with? What is taking the place of? What is the pronoun taking the place of? Remember that the pronoun means in place of a noun. Okay, what hutas broke up the monotony, but of what? Of what? Christ or Theos? Which Christ is the Father recorded here, or one of the hymns. H-I-M, you understand what I'm saying? And Christ is Christ. It comes right after Yesu, Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? It's not a last name, it's a title. It's Mashiach. Is Christ, who is the Son of God, being referred to by the pronoun hutas? Or is Theos, or him, being referred to by utas. Now, like I said before, it doesn't downgrade anybody in the Trinity, because we all know those that are reasonable people, that the both are the true God. Let me bring you to Jeremiah to settle the argument once and forever. Now, we all know that Jehovah's Witnesses use, I should get to this first though, because I'm going to put the witnesses in the backs. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to lock it up with a key. Let's go to, you understand, 1 Corinthians, before we go to Jeremiah, okay, let's just settle this once and forever. Let's go to, it's recorded. La 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 la. Okay, my love for that. Another name, my daughter. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8, like the witnesses always do. Okay, I don't got nothing else. I already mentioned some golden parachutes. This should be the other one in the list. You understand what I'm saying? The golden parachutes, the you know, that they use. So 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 28. Okay, number 2. Jesus has a God. Okay, you know the passage is there. Okay. And we agree, but you can't say that he had a God before the incarnation, so you can't use Micah chapter 5 verse 4. You can't do it, because the future tense is there in the Greek Septuagint, stesetai, and sigma is the future tense formative, so that's for the future. It's like the Honeymooners, Chef of the Future, you know the future, right? You ever watch The Honeymooners, the Chef of the Future? He wasn't the chef of the past. He wasn't the present day chef. The chef of the future. I'm the chef of the future. Oh, yeah. It's just a deal. Okay, you witnesses? I'm just saying. I have to use the honeymooners for you guys. I feel sorry for you guys. Pity. Compassion. I have to feel something for these runny nose JW that are running around, making proselytes. When you find them, you make them twice a child of hell than yourself. You're a child of hell. You send everybody else there with you. So they're going to use this. And then the other one, number 3, it matters when it matters. Okay, that's the golden parachute for the witnesses, All right. So it says over here, record it. Yet for us, there is but one God, the Father, from whom, are all things, and we exist for Him. And, don't forget the and, please, okay? And one Lord, Jesus, Christ, by whom are all things, probably tapanta or panta in the Greek, some form of past, and we exist through Him. You understand what I'm saying? The intermediate agent of existence. You understand what I'm saying? And just a deal. All right. Who's the Lord here? You're straitjacketing the Father to be God? Well, according to you witnesses, He can't be Lord. He is, but I'm just saying He can't be Lord. Why? It's just one God. It doesn't say one Lord, the Father. Now, you straitjacketed God the Father like that. Okay, fine. Now you straitjacketed Jesus to be not God, but Lord here. So the Tetragrammaton has to do with the Father, with Jesus, and not the Father, according to you. I'm just saying, not according to me. Kata, but according to you. Soy. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Soy means to you in Greek. This is a second person singular. You know what I'm saying? I should have actually said it in the plural. Okay, to you, let me see, humes, humon, humin. That's what I said, humin though. To you all, at the tower. You know what I'm saying? Make it in the plural. I mean, it's a complete picture. Okay, so you're straitjacketing Jesus to be Lord. You're doing me a favor. Why? Shama, why? Well, this is why. Shama Yisrael, or actually Yahweh, they're equal anyway. Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. That's the Shema in Hebrew. Shema, actually Shema, hear or listen or Israel, the Lord, okay, Yahweh, our God, okay, Elohinu, and the Nu means us, and it's tagged right after Elohim. You understand what I'm saying? After you know the part of this construction, Elohinu, Yahweh, Echad. Echad means one among other things. So you're doing me, end quote, by the way, you're doing me a favor by, straitjacketing Jesus to Lord, because you're doing me a favor, like I said before, because the Tetragrammaton has to do with him. That's all. I'm just saying. You're calling him Jehovah without knowing it. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You usually stab yourself in the neck. Just then, now prove it. Prove it. Prove it that he's Yahweh. Prove it, Angelo. Said the Swami from Brooklyn, Alexander Cruz. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it easily. That you did me a favor. That's just the deal. Don't you do that usually? Straitjacket things. Oh, Jesus only spoke in the Hebrew of his day and not in Greek. You said that in the word "Who is he?" recorded on I don't know what page or what 1961 or 62. I forgot the page by now. I forgot that page. I think it was on page 36 or something like that. That's the deal. And then Ted Denture, XJW. Hi, my love. Ted, I love you. Ted Denture, Ted Denture, the ex-JW, the ex-Swami, you understand what I'm saying? Came out and said, well, just as easily as they popped up two Hebrew New Testaments where Jesus didn't say Echad for himself, recorded in John chapter 8 verse 58. Sounded like the Venbots from the $6 Million Man or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? Just as easily as they did that, I can do that. I can do the same. I could pop out New Testament, Hebrew, New Testaments where Jesus did say Echad for himself, and nobody can say that for himself except for Yahweh, except for God. The 1817 edition and the 1880 edition of the Hebrew New Testament. You understand what I'm saying? The first one, translated from the Textus Receptus, is not the, it's a nice text. It's not, the received text, but anyway, I'll take it. And it says that, the translation from that by G.G. Collier and T. Frey by the London Jew Society on John chapter 8 verse 58 says that Jesus is Echad. The emphatic is found and recorded in the 1880 edition. That's just for free. Whew. But you witnesses, you called him, that's one Lord. Okay, what does Jeremiah say about the Lord? Lord, and nothing else. Not God, just Lord. What does it say? It says something like this. Oh, I love when the witnesses just tag themselves on the lips. Oh, it's just like they and this is something, and this is number 3. This is for free. They just did this in 1968 when they said, "In the Jews have set you free." Or no, actually that's in 1943. But they said in the truth about eternal life. That's the title. The truth shall set you free. Said that nobody was going to go to the moon. That was a fiasco in 1943. But in 1968, they say you can tell what's a false religion if they accept part of the Bible and deny other parts. See, they keep on shooting themselves, stabbing themselves. Just saying, they might as well strap themselves in the electric chair. They did everything else. I'm just saying. I mean, I caught them 3 times in the crime. Just a damn. Not that they didn't purge themselves in court, but that's another thing. It says over here in Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 10, but the Lord is the true God. He is the living God and the everlasting King. Ellipsis. I don't even have to read the whole thing. What does it say? But the God is the true Lord? What does it say that? What does it? It is. We can reverse it. I'm just saying. I mean, you know. But it says over here, but the Lord is the true God. So it says in your passage of scripture that you like to quote like parrots because you got nothing else. 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 6, it says, and we have one Lord, and that's who? Who is it? Doesn't say the Father there. That's not to deny. I'm just playing chicken with you. I'm just saying. If you don't like chickens, I'll hog tie you. That's just a deal. You don't like hogs? All right, well, I'll horse tie you. I mean, so what if you what? Running out of animals over here, running out of the people in the towers. It's just like beasts of the field. They have to be like, you know, Nebuchadnezzar. They have to be shown a little bit of God's power. Nails growing, hair on their head, dripping water on their face and on their bodies, hair growing like the tree, like the palm trees. They have to be humble to the dust. That's just a deal, and God can do it. Don't you think that God can't? All of those old Jehovah's Witnesses are dead. Rutherford, Russell, Nathan the hot dog. They're dead in the cemetery, understand? That's just the deal. That's just it. They're all dead. Millions now living will never die, and they're almost all dead. And if they're not, they're hanging by a thread. You understand what I'm saying? That's just a deal. They're like bagels, you know what I'm saying? Here today, gone tomorrow. What's a bagel? It's on your plate and you eat it and that's it. Into the belly, out of the draft. That's it. Nathan. Oh, he's a hot dog. Is a good example of that. You know what I'm saying? It says over here, but the Lord is the true God. He is the living God and the everlasting King. See, the Lord is all of that. Well, so why does it say that the Father is the true God and the only God and Jesus is the only Lord? Oh, what's it there? Well, just read verse 5. I'm almost on my hands and knees begging the witnesses, please, read it. Drink it, taste it. Don't cry. No, I take that back. Cry, please, with tears. And bring tears. Bring unto him words. Says that in Hosea. So I take that back, but bring your tears to God. They're in his bottle, crying out loud. Nobody cares about you in the tower. You're the other sheep. That's what you are. You know what I'm saying? You can't even take communion service. I mean, good gracious, it's just like spiritual segregation. That's just a deal. All right, so if you say that Jesus is the only Lord, I mean, you're doing me a favor. The Tetragrammaton has everything to do with Jesus. That's just a deal. What does it say here? Read it. It's just like Alexander Cruz. Read it. It says over here, but the what? But the who? But the how? You see what I'm saying? But the Lord is the true God, it says over here. That's what it says. So why? Okay, why? First, what means these stones? So what is 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 6 all about? And what's the deal, Angelo? Tell us. It's like Star Trek all over again. Tell him, Jim. Yeah, little children. You playing with a little tricycle. They broke it. Will you please fix? I'll fix it for you, punk. The Father is designated as God, and Jesus is designated as Lord because it ransacks every false deity. Now, if it says that the Father is the only God, and Jesus is the only God, how are the false laws going to be ransacked? Unbelievers can even say, well, wait a minute. they're the true God, but they're not they're the only God, but they're not the only Lord. Well, I could keep my lords because they didn't touch them. But the Apostle Paul didn't touch my lords. So somebody had to be designated as God, and somebody had to be designated as Lord. You understand what I'm saying? Elohim and Yahweh, because the thing is, it ransacks all the false deities that are hanging around. Just as easy as that. Now, Jesus, called God the Lord. I believe that's recorded in Matthew chapter 11. And then the Father calls Jesus Lord. You understand what I'm saying? Or God, in Hebrews chapter 1 verse 8, in Hebrews chapter 1 verse 10. He calls them both. He calls him Jehovah. He calls Jesus Jehovah in verse 10, quoting from Psalm 102. And then not only that, he called Jesus God, Hatheos, with special definiteness. You understand what I'm saying? The article had to be used because there's no other sign. There's not a distinct sign in Greek for special definiteness, only for special fuss. Like 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 20. You understand what I'm saying? Matthew chapter 15. Matthew. What is it again? Matthew. Matthew chapter 15 verse 28, I believe. I think it's something like that. Oh daughter, like that. Jesus said. I just died. You know what I'm saying? The flexional particle had to be used, the omega and the old little squiggly lines and stuff like that, a circumflex and a soft reading marker, or whatever the case may be. It had to be used. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a deal. But that's a special sign. But there is no special sign for special definiteness, so the nominative article has to be used at that point. You know what I mean? That's just a deal. Because that's special definiteness. So you know that Jesus is called God. What's the problem? I don't think Satan loves the idea of Jesus being called both God and Lord. So he uses people, from the Tower, or Islam, or Mormon Church, or any other false cult or sect or religion. Just to do the deal. God sent Jesus. Okay, the devil has his own messengers. That's just a deal. All right, now let's get into the Greek. Okay, let's just get into the Greek here. I record it. You understand what I'm saying? Let's go here and let's look at every single word. Okay, in Greek, and then we're going to be finished with this beautiful study. You understand what I'm saying? Of John chapter, First John chapter, or Alpha John, right? Alpha Ioannin. Okay, Epsilon. Okay, Kappa, if you will. Okay, let's just round it off. 1 John chapter 5, verse 20. It says over here, we know. That's the Greek word oidame. Oidamen, actually. Oidamen. What's oidamen? What's plural? So that let's take care of the easy part, the men first, okay? This word is oida in the lexicon, and the men is a first person personal ending, okay? We, like that. Okay, that's a primary active personal ending from that grid chart. You understand? The master personal ending chart. Okay, there are 4 boxes. That's why I call it a grid. And that's the top box on the left hand side. That has the O ace a amen eta usi, or the nothing sigma iota mente unsi. You understand what I'm saying? Those are personal endings. Some verbs have personal endings. And that's and that's the deal. So oidam is spelled out omicron, iota, delta, alpha, mu, nowadays called ni, epsilon, nu, nowadays called ni. So oidam, we know. We know, and then now it's it's translating the post positive de, okay, delta epsilon with the grab marker de. So oidamen de, and then that is hati, and that's a conjunction, okay, a linking word. The son, ha-huias. The nominative article singular from the 24 article pool paradigm is used and recorded. Ha-he-ta, tu-te-stu, to-te-to, tan-ten-ta, hoi-hai-ta, with an alpha this time, ton-ton-ton, twice, and twice-ta-sta, with an alpha also. You understand what I'm saying? You have to know that article paradigm in your sleep, by heart. In your sleep. Yeah, you can do it backwards, forwards. Drink it, taste it. I don't care what you do. Write it on a bulletin board on your dashboard, on your refrigerator, but you have to learn it perfectly. Because the article says mouse is your friend. Okay? I say it covers a multitude of sins. You understand what I'm saying? Hoi hadas, or huyas, okay? And it says over here, the Son of God. So this is called the genitive of relationship, okay? Tu huio. Okay? The word for God is found, I think, 1,300 plus times in the Greek New Testament. Articles are found like almost 20,000 times in the Greek New Testament. You understand what I'm saying? That's almost 20,000. It's about 138,000 words, either the same or repeated words in Greek in the Greek New Testament. And there's about 5,400 of them plus. And so the article takes a big chunk out of that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just the deal. We know that the Son of God, is come. That's in the present tense. Present, indicative, active. Active has to do with voice. Indicative has to do with mood. Okay, is the mood of reality or asking a question? Portrayed reality anyway. And this has to do with the verb system, and it's in the present tense. Heke, from heko. So the paradigm will go something like this, okay? Heko, hekes, heke, and that's just the deal. Hekamen, hekete, and God knows what it is. Okay, third person plural. And then and Greek word kai, nowadays pronounced ke, has given us, and that's easy. That's in the perfect tense. You see the reduplicating consonant there, just like Hebrew consonants can reduplicate. They use another thing, a dagger, to point that out. This is reduplicated perfectly. Be careful with me verbs. You understand what I'm saying? With the iota and the breathing being the reduplicating feature. The delta reduplicated to another delta, connected by a connecting vowel, and you see the kappa epsilon perfect morpheme there, and that's just the deal. Has given us, from didomi. Edoken actually is the aorist form. It uses kappa epsilon also in me verbs found and recorded. That God gave the revelation of Jesus is in the aorist tense, and then he showed it, okay, dexai, that's an infinitive there in Revelation chapter 1 verse 1. So he wasn't shown it to, God the Father didn't show it to Jesus, at least not there anyway. He just gave it to Jesus, and then Jesus turned around and showed it to the disciples. Okay, that's just a deal. That's going to be helpful for the witnesses. Against the witnesses. Has given us. You understand what I'm saying? Has given us. Now the us comes from that's a translation of the first person plural pronoun. Hemin, that's in a dative case. Okay, so the hemes, hemon, hemin, hemas, that's kind of easy. That's easy stuff. That's basic Greek, Understanding. What, my love? Understanding. Let me see if she pooed. Let me see if she pooed over here. Wait for a second. What, my love? I might have to. Let me see. What happened, my love? Huh? Let me see. No, she didn't poo. No, she didn't poo. No, she's clean. I'm coming, my love. Daddy's trying to do this, okay? Daddy's trying to do this, my love. I'm coming, my love. She didn't poo. She's clean, and she was fed very well, by the way. 2 bottles of food. It's just a deal. What's this? Understanding. What am I giving us? Understanding. Wait for a second. So she threw me off a little bit. That's okay. That's my baby. Hey, mean. Okay. It's given to us. Now, the doken, that's in the perfect tense. If somebody wants to know, now the R is there representing as a designation for the perfect tense in this app over here, the R. So you see, when you see an R, just put in your mind perfect tense, even though it's not a P. They can't put a P there because the thing is, the P is a designation for the present tense, though. That's the problem with that. You'll get used to it. Perfect. There's an R in perfect, I believe, right? Okay. Has given us. Okay. Has given us, and that's a completed action. The perfect tense. You got the aorist tense, and you got the present tense. You got the future tense. You got the perfect tense. Okay, and then you got the aorist tense and imperfect. Imperfect, like the Greek word ain is in the imperfect tense. Why? Why is that imperfect? Well, it's imperfect because it's not a completed action. That's what I'm saying? Got the perfect and imperfect. One is a completed action, the perfect, and one is not. It's continuous in the imperfect. You understand what I'm saying? That's just a deal. Dedoken has given us. Dedoken emin has given to us. It's in the dative case, and basic Greek, the two is a key. A key what there for your translation. Understanding, it says over here. Dia noyan. Understanding so that hina. Now hina is a clue that a subjunctive is coming. Perhaps, okay? I'm just saying. We may know, you see? You could just look at it in English sometimes, okay? We may know, it says over here, genoskomen. Genoskomen. Now, what's the deal? Genoskomen. What's the deal with that? Primary, let's work backwards. Primary active personal ending. Okay, we, the men. It's not men like, 3 men visited Abraham. It's not that. Men has to, even though this is in the plural, men has to do with a first person plural personal ending. It's a personal ending. It indicates to you, okay, we. Te. You have to be careful with that because it's, this is like a mood of command. But anyway, te is a personal ending indicating to you, okay, second plural. You understand what I'm saying? And unsi is third person plural. You understand what I'm saying? Well, that's just a deal. This is a subjunctive, the mood of possibility of probability. Okay, the if and the may and the shall and all this other good stuff is the active personal ending, subjunctive mood. Okay, the present tense. Genoskomen. Now the omega is showing you that this is a subjunctive. Which one? Well, the second omega is, not the first. Okay? You know what I'm saying? That's just the deal. The second omega is the subjunctive morpheme, or was forms of subjunctive just like the eta can. You know what? Like a. Okay, there you go, maybe, or whatever the case may be. Okay? That's shaving it off a lot, right? Hey, that's it. That's all you got. And maybe. You understand what I'm saying? That's another word for maybe also, Genoskomen, Okay, that's just a deal. We may know. We may know him who is through. Now, the is not here. Eston is not here. But it says him who is translating the article. You see, it's a weak demonstrative. You see? Is a weak demonstrative. Remember that he translates, huta sometimes like that. You can use he to translate huta sometimes, I should say. As I forget my English here in the Philippines, I've been here for, it's recorded for several years. But the article can be translated into he also, you see, or that one, or whatever the case may be, because it's called a weak demonstrative. It's not only the guys at the tower. Just saying. You think it means the, but it doesn't. Like that all the time. I'm just saying. Anyway, I get into John 1:1c, so I don't want to get into that now. Him who, there you go, translating tan, from tan, the tantain ta side of the paradigm, ta with alpha, and through ale the non, through. My love, I'm coming, my lovey Gigi, my lovey Gigi, my peachy. They don't have peaches over here, man. That's one of the fruits they don't have. They don't have peaches in the Philippines. They don't have strawberries. I mean, I don't want to talk about fruit now, but I'm just saying. What the tower is doing is very unfruitful, by the way, and believing a lie. There's no fruit in there. By their fruits you shall know them. Out of the mouth of babes, right? Says, and translating Kai, we are, okay, esmen. From Amy is a me verb, actually. Amy, estin, esmen, este, and God knows what's the third person plural. That's just the deal. Now, what is this? It says over here in, and that's translating in, that preposition. It'll be be, actually, in Hebrew. Like Bereshit bara Elohim, you understand what I'm saying? The beginning God. Him who is true. Now this has to do with Jesus. The other him who is true had to do with the Father, I believe. And him who is true has to do with Jesus here recorded, because it says it in the next clause. Okay, him who is translating to, a dative article. Okay, the dative case has to do with the case of interest. Through is translating ale. No, Aletino. Yeah, understand? And that's in the dative, because the improper diphthong there. Okay, the omega with the iota subscript and circumflex overhead. That's an improper diphthong, and you see that in the dative case. Sometimes you got the feminine. That's why I say sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? Now the preposition "n" is here in, okay, translating "n," that's showing the relationship between two words. Okay, and that's to, a son, huio. Okay, to huio. So you see the prepositional phrase there includes the article. Sometimes it doesn't, and it's still definite. That's what we're trying to tell the witness, that the arche is still definite even though it doesn't have the article te. Rome is still definite, and it doesn't have the article there as well, found and recorded in, Romans chapter 1, verse 7. So just because something doesn't have an article doesn't mean it's indefinite. I'm just trying to say, I'm coming, my love. Of him, a meaning of the Father. This of him is of the Father. Okay, auto is in the genitive case. Okay, Jesus, Yesu. Yesu is two cases shares one construction. Okay, Yesu, the dative and the genitive. So you have to be careful with that. You can't cheat on the Jesus paradigm. Okay. My love, you just wait, my love. Wait for daddy. I'm coming, my love. I'm coming. I have to do this. Finish this tomorrow, guys. Okay, let me just do this over here. Okay, the word for Christ is Christo, and that's in the dative case. Okay, you see the omega and the iota subscript. Okay, that's just the deal. Okay, Christ. Now I will speak about the pronoun, the demonstrative pronoun hutas. Okay, in my next study that's going to come right after this one. Okay, for some viewers. Okay, for other viewers, just stay tuned for part 2 of who is the true God. 1 John chapter 5 verse 20. Who is the true God? The God, part 3. Okay, and that's just the deal. This is Angelo Quinones giving glory to the God of Israel. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. That means that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were very much alive at the time that Jesus said those words. I mean, just like, he like scuba diving equipment, guys. You understand what I'm saying? Please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up, and please leave a message on the screen. Okay, stay tuned, because another part might just come right after this, and that's just the deal. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. And let's pray for the peace of Israel and the peace of the church of God's kirk also. And let us warn our families as it is yet day about these holy and precious things. And don't forget to witness to the witnesses with boldness and power, but with great love and patience and mercy. We just really need that in these days, in these last days. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye now. Bye. Bye. I'm coming, my love. You're rushing me to the quick. Okay, take care, guys. Bye.